It is an important meeting, as you point out, and I think we're here, as you all know, to chart the course of the alliance in the future. The events of 2014 were sobering, and we must continue to adapt to what's being revealed to us in terms of our security challenges. The alliance remains a fundamental bedrock for the United States and for all the transatlantic community, bonded as we are together. As President Trump has stated, he has strong support for NATO. And NATO is in the midst of transformation. It has always been adapting to the security challenges. This is nothing new. Perhaps the pace of change has certainly picked up a bit, but this is something that we can deal with. And it's absolutely appropriate, as a European Minister of Defense said last week, it's a fair demand that all who benefit from the best defense in the world carry their proportionate share of the necessary cost to defend freedom. And we should never forget, ultimately, it is freedom that we defend here at NATO. And I do have confidence that we will prove once again that we can react to the changing circumstances. We've done so in the past. There's every reason for confidence that we will move out purposefully together once again. I am here to listen to my fellow ministers, to have an open conversation among friends and allies about where we're going and our shared level of commitment. Thank you, Secretary General Stoltenberg.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Secretary Mattis, in his intervention, said, America will meet its responsibilities, but if your nations do not want to see America moderate its commitment to this alliance, each of your capitals needs to show support for our common defense. Do you interpret that as a threat? Do you see that as America making its support conditional? And how do you read that language?
Secretary Mattis expressed a very strong commitment to NATO and to the transatlantic bond and to the importance of strengthening NATO. And that was very much welcomed in the meeting because all the other ministers expressed the same commitment to the transatlantic bond, because we all understand that we are safer and stronger together. Strong NATO is good for Europe and good for the United States and Canada.
I wanted to ask, what is your specific understanding of what it would mean for America to moderate its commitment to NATO, as Secretary Mattis said today?
For me, this is about that the US commitment to NATO is more than words. It is also deeds. And the US is delivering and stepping up its support for European security, because these days we see the deployment of new US forces in Europe for the first time in many, many years. We will have a new armored brigade. A new armored brigade is deploying these days, and we will have more US equipment, more US exercises, more US supplies pre-positioned in Europe. So my takeaway from this meeting is that there is a strong US commitment to NATO in words and in deeds. The presence of US soldiers in Europe is going up, not down. And there is also a willingness from the US side to continue to strengthen and to support, especially in new, or for instance, in the area where in new, or not in new areas, but including, for instance, when it comes to the fight against terrorism, how NATO can be used more as a tool in the fight against terrorism. Let me just add that this is not the US telling Europe to increase defense spending. This is 28 allies, heads of state and government, sitting around the same table in 2014 and looking into each other's eyes and agreeing that we shall increase defense spending. So this is about implementing something which 28 heads of state and government has agreed that we will do together. And then, of course, I welcome all pressure, all support to make sure that that happens.